All right, you guys know what? Screw this. I'm not even going to do this. Let's take a look at something real quick. I'm just going to jump right into the middle of all this and show you guys something. Show you a little bit of what it is that I'm talking about. I'm taking a look at a particular play, and this play happens during this football game. And frankly, I don't give a goddamn when it happens or where it happens. All I know is that it happens. So I'm going to have you guys pay attention for me just a little bit. Bear with me. I'm going to show you guys something now. Taking a look at what it is you have on your screen, I've got a marker I'm going to place right about here. This is right about where I would assume, actually let's go farther than that. I think it's probably right about in here is where we're looking at where a line of scrimmage line would be. Now I'm going to end up taking this line and I'm going to paint it yellow for you so you can see it. I'm going to paint it with my little marker here. This is a line of scrimmage, this little yellow line, and I'm using yellow because that's the most common color that the network agencies end up using when you're watching from home, is a little imaginary yellow line. Now, I'm going to take another line here. I want you to take a look at what it is that I'm trying to talk about here. First things first, your offensive line setup. This is the things that drive me absolutely badass crazy. Okay? I want you to take a look at center, guard position, right tackle, left tackle. Now, you take a look at this line of scrimmage. Okay, this is basically a horizontal line. It's not a vertical line, but a horizontal line stretching from sideline to sideline. Now, as an offensive lineman, if you are blocking, especially in a pass protection scheme, okay, it is very imperative that you use certain techniques, certain things that allow you to help you do your job, especially when it comes to defenses to throw different types of packages at you. Take a look in this position in particular. This is a position where the Indianapolis Colts like to stunt. For those of you who don't know what a stunt is, that is when a defensive tackle goes to the left and an outside edge where the defensive end or linebacker comes, he fakes to the left and then he comes back in through the right. And the reason why a stunt is so imperative is because it makes and forces your offensive linemen to stay to their assignment. Okay, this guard position needs to be stout, needs to stay at home for when that guy stunts around the left or stunts around the right so the guard can pick up that position. It is imperative. The reason why teams throw stunts is because there's a lot of offensive guards out there and tackles that don't like to stay home, and they catch you sleeping, and you end up getting a pass rush right in that A gap, right up the middle, right at your quarterback. This particular play, the reason why I froze it, the reason why I captured it, because this is a double stunt. This is a double stunt. We got a stunt to the left and a stunt to the right. These guys are crossing both positions here all the way to the center. Defensive tackle right here. Okay? Defensive tackle right here. This is a linebacker or an outside edge rusher that's come around the left-hand side and is coming up in the middle. We've got another one out here, a defensive end that's coming around Trent Williams, the backside of Loval, to blitz from this side. So basically, our quarterback's going to be getting pressure through this gap and pressure through this gap. Now, the reason why I froze it on this particular frame is because I want you to take a look at something. Take a look at our center. In this particular play, our center is backing up. He's light on his feet. He's looking left to right, left to right. He's looking for somebody to pick up in the event that they should stunt or in the event he's got to pick up a blitz. He's doing a very, very good job here. Light on his feet. His hands are up and ready. In this particular screenshot, he's looking right, but believe me when I say he's backing up and he's looking left and right. He's looking for somebody to pick up. Right now, his vision has caught this outside edge rusher coming in on a stunt, and he's looking to help out our right guard here. Okay, Brandon Sheriff. Unfortunately, what he does not know is we got another guy who's coming back on the inside on this stunt here. Now, you take a look at his hips. His hips are parallel to this line of scrimmage, this horizontal yellow line. He is in perfect posture, perfect position to be picking up a stunt coming from any direction. You take a look at our right guard. Take a look where his hips are. His hips are flush and center with the line of scrimmage. He is able to actually take that left foot and step out and be in position to pick up that stunt. Now I want you to take a look at the weakest link on this offensive line. For those of you that know the answer to this question, who is the weakest link on this offensive line? For all of you that are raising your hands that are saying it's number 77 left guard Sean Loval, you are correct. Now take a look at the posture of this son of a bitch. Right here. Are his hips parallel to the line of scrimmage to where he can pick up a stunt on the inside? The answer, ladies and gentlemen, is no. He is not in position posturally and position-wise to pick up a blitz back on the inside. He ends up taking his man and pushing him to the left as this sorry son of a bitch blitzes around the outside on a stunt and gets to our quarterback. It's little things like this that I catch that drive me absolutely nuts about this football team. These are the little things that cause unneeded pressure, These are basic, simple concepts right here. I understand these are professionals and they're strong and they're mean and it takes a lot to play this sport. I get that, but these are the little things that guys who watch a lot of film notice. And I'm just talking about a professional level. If I'm noticing this and I'm not a professional, what do you think the professionals are looking at right now? Okay, double stunt. Indianapolis was stunting us the whole game. They were stunting us a lot because it was working. We are not very good. We are not very adept at picking up little simple things like this. It's got to the point where even the commentators on television were mentioning it. They're sitting there talking about the stunts that the Indianapolis Colts were throwing at our offense, and yet our offensive line was not able to pick them up. Now, for those of us that have been screaming the whole offseason about our left guard position and us needing to upgrade, this game's got to drive individuals like you crazy. Okay? We lucked out with the very, very good, I would say, above average play of our center. We've got no business having a center that's playing as well as he is. And right now, he's actually doing a fairly decent job. I'm happy and satisfied the last 2 weeks that Chase Roullier has given us at the center position. I'm even happy with our right guard, first-round draft selection, Brandon Sheriff. I'm happy with him. Mr. Moses, our right tackle, who oftentimes, more often than not, sometimes, once in a while, he blows coverage. But you know what? I'm happy with him. I don't mind him. And Trent Williams, you're not going to find me saying anything bad about Trent Williams. But Sean Loval, I got to tell you, I don't understand what it is with these people that talk about we have one of the best offensive lines in football. They mentioned that several times in this game. Have they watched film on the Washington Redskins? Since when are we one of the best teams in football at the offensive line? We're not. We just have more experience at our offensive line, but that doesn't mean we're better. I think we've been able to show in this particular game that we're not better. We have individuals on this offense that are not able to even get the very basics down. And if you can't get the very basics down, guys, this defense blew our asses up. I didn't see this defense coming at all. I have names that I had circled in this. I got starred double stunts coming at us all over the place we can't pick up. I got defensive ends, Margus Hunt. That guy's a freaking animal. It's disgusting as to, actually he's on... I got individuals like him. I got that rookie Teray. He did a really, really good job. Muhammad looked really, really good for some reason. I don't understand what was going on with him, but we could not... He seemed to be doing fairly well against us, but I got to tell you, that big number 92, Margus Hunt, that guy, whenever he lined up against Sean Loval, it had to make you nervous. And there were several plays in this game where he was able to get through and really, really be disruptive. And that's very discouraging to see. And I saw the same remnants of the Sean Loval from 2 years ago that I'm seeing right now. And the reason why I'm seeing the same Sean Loval 2 years ago is because the Sean Loval we had last year was sitting on the bench, injured. He didn't even play hardly at all last year. So that whole entire time between then and now, he hasn't gotten any better. And I don't know, I haven't heard or seen anything on an injury report on him, so I'm not willing to use the excuse that he's been injured. Guys, I think it's just the fact that he sucks. He sucks, and for some reason, we have got a banner-waving Sean Loval freak in our upper management that seems to think that this guy's got what it takes to do what it is that he's got to do. Do you know how many times I counted, just offhand on live television coverage, I saw Sean Loval on his ass, getting his ass beat and whipped like a redheaded stepchild that nobody wants? I saw it I counted, I think, at least 4 times throughout the course of this game that Sean Loval got blown up. Blown up. There's no excuse for that. There's none. I don't see a whole lot of left guards or right guards for that matter that get blown up as much as this guy does. You want to see what it is about our offensive line that makes us ineffective at running the football? It's several different things. I happen to think that they're little mediocre to elementary things that need to be shored up. That's what I think. But then you've got certain people at certain positions, namely left guard, that just cannot do their job on a consistent basis. This was a position we should have addressed in the offseason. This is a position that a lot of us have been touting that we needed change. The Redskins did not give us change because the Redskins know better than us as to why it is we don't need change at left guard. And once again, year after year after year, they prove the fans correct. And it sucks. I can't stand it. Little things like this drive me absolutely nuts. There's a couple other things out there that drive me nuts, guys, and I'm probably going to make some fast enemies of this situation, but you know what? I don't care. I'm a pissed off Redskins fan just like the rest of us, and was I expecting us to do a whole hell of a lot better in this football game? No. I wasn't necessarily expecting us to win. I wasn't necessarily expecting us to lose. I was expecting us to play a whole hell of a lot better to make it more of a fight than what it was that we actually got on Sunday. That's what I was expecting. I was not expecting us to play the way that we did. And there are a lot of positions I've got to bitch about, some of which we'll get to this video. But there's one of the things that I think that is driving me the most crazy. And I think that there's a good, healthy portion of us as Redskin fans that are growing upset at the fact that Alex Smith cannot throw vertically. That he will not challenge defenses deep. He will not stretch a defense. He will not throw to our wide receivers, even though we've got wide receivers out there. People say that they look mediocre. They don't look like there's a whole lot of passion. And frankly, you're not going to get a whole lot of passion from a wide receiver if he knows he's not going to be getting the football. I think it's high time that some of you guys listen to some of us that have been telling you since last season that this was the Alex Smith you were going to get. I don't know what it is that some of you guys think. I don't understand it. We tell you he's not going to stretch the defense vertically. We tell you he's not going to go to his wide receivers deep. We tell you he's not going to go across the middle deep. He's going to give you shallow dink-dunk passes. And this is what he does and you complain? I don't understand that. I don't get it. How are some of you fans, and another thing that's really killing me is all of a sudden we've got Kirk Cousins fans popping up out of nowhere. That really pisses me off because I got to tell you, there's about 90% of this fan base that could not wait to get rid of Kirk Cousins. Actually, maybe it was less than that. It was probably well over half that wanted to get rid of Kirk. We couldn't win with Kirk. You can't win with Kirk. Can't win with him. Get rid of him. He wants too much money. I didn't want it because he wanted too much money. I was fine with Kirk Cousins as a quarterback. That's very well documented in my videos. I've mentioned that many, many times. I didn't want to pay the guy $22 million a year. I didn't think he was worth $22 million. Now, if you give him the type of weapons that he has in Minnesota, that's a much different story, but we don't have those types of weapons here. We don't have the types of weapons that Alex Smith had in Kansas City. You're not going to get out. You're not going to get Kansas City Alex Smith playing in Washington. You're not going to get Minnesota Viking Kirk Cousins playing in Washington. You're going to get Washington's version of that quarterback because the Washington Redskins, we have a lot of holes, and we've been talking about it for years. Alex Smith, and let me say it again for the cheap seats because some of you guys are not getting it. You're not getting it. If you're waiting and you're complaining and you're bitching about Alex Smith not throwing vertically and testing defenses deep, you need to bone up on your research when it comes to Alex Smith. He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. And Alex Smith is so cool and so calm and so collected in that pocket, he doesn't care about what you think. He doesn't care about what you think. He's been listening his whole career since San Francisco people have been bitching at him. Half the reason why he even got substituted for Colin Kaepernick is because he wouldn't be able to challenge defenses the way that the coach wanted him to challenge defenses. Alex Smith is not that kind of a quarterback. Alex Smith is not going to challenge your defense vertically. He's going to challenge your defense horizontally. That is what he does. Very rarely will you find a better quarterback in this league that's going to be able to wave off safeties and linebackers better than Alex Smith, and he does it vertically. He takes a look one way and he throws it shallow the other. He expects the player to take the ball and do something with his hands and his feet. That's not bad quarterback play, but he's not going to take chances on you. If you say that our wide receivers look uninspired going down the field, it's because they are. Hello? How fast and how hard are you going to run 40 yards on an out or an in route when you know you're not going to get the football? You're not going to do it. You're going to half-ass it. You're going to half-ass your blocks. You're going to half-ass your routes because you're not, that pigskin ain't coming anywhere near you. The part that surprises me, actually, is the fact that we have not implemented nearly as much Jordan Reed and Jamison Crowder as I thought that we would. Talk about one of the league's best duos in regards to shallow passing routes. Those guys are top-notch. But we're getting back into one of the subtle arguments that I want to bring up in this video, and that is the transition that we seem to forget as Redskin fans. We seem to, I tell you, if you want to know what Redskin fans are the best at, we can tell you what the transition with a new head coach does to an organization. We can tell you what the transition with a brand new quarterback does to an organization. Very, very few teams know that better than us. Very few teams. And we're seeing it now. How many years does this quarterback have behind center in Washington? Does anybody know the answer? The answer is 1. He doesn't even have 1 year. He's got a couple games, and we're expecting this guy to perform miracles. Alex Smith is a veteran quarterback. Okay, he's a veteran quarterback, and he's got a brand new head coach, got a brand new head coaching staff, he's got a brand new set of receivers, brand new concepts, brand new fan base, brand new everything. There are two types of transitions, in my opinion, when it comes to brand new quarterbacks coming into brand new organizations, and that is an either slow transition or a fast transition. Okay, to me, when it comes to a slow transition, it takes time for the individual to learn that new head coach. It takes time for that individual to learn the new philosophy. It takes time for the timing routes to be able to feel comfortable with wide receivers, that comfortability that exists there. It takes time. Time versus production, and the patience of the coaching staff and the owners. That is a slow transition. There are teams that are able to make that work. To tell you the truth, we don't do too bad of a job when it comes to slow transition quarterbacks. The next one is fast transition. Fast transition quarterbacks are individuals that fit really, really well in a particular scheme. They fit really, really well with the receivers. They fit really, really well with everything that's going on around them, and they get off to a really, really fast start. And in the very beginning, there seems like there's really, really good chemistry. Unfortunately, most fast transition quarterbacks don't last very long in the league. They don't, because teams have time to adapt. They acclimate very, very quickly. When the side of a couple of weeks, a fast transition quarterback on a fast transition team, all of a sudden they're not playing very well. We've heard all the stories. We've seen these teams play. For 2 or 3 weeks, we got a quarterback that's brand new to a scheme. All of a sudden, come in, he's lighting the world on fire, throwing deep balls, throwing anything. It doesn't look like the guy can go wrong. Rushing for all kinds of yards. All kinds of yards rushing on the running back's part, and we've got touchdowns galore, and number 1, number 2, or top 10 in the red zone as far as the league is concerned. And all of a sudden, after 3 weeks being in that organization, they're back down at the bottom. And it's like, what the hell happened? Did your nerve go away? Well, no. Defenses watch game film. They watch game film and they notice tendencies, and they take away some of your best attributes. And those fast transition quarterbacks all of a sudden realize, oh, yeah, okay, you take away my best attributes, now where am I? Okay, the slow transition quarterbacks, and I can't necessarily dictate to you which ones those are, but I can tell you right now, Alex Smith is not a fast transitioning quarterback. You've got to give this guy at least a year to get transitioned into this process. And this goes back video after video after video. I have mentioned this years ago, and it drives me nuts to bring it up again. What comes next is a head coaching change. And we're right back describing the last 30 years as Redskins, as a Redskins organization. This is what we do. This is the next domino to fall. You want to mark my words on something? Mark my words on this. Inside the next 2 years, we'll see if Jay Gruden has a job. If he doesn't have the job, then it's SOS in Washington. Same old skins. Same old skins since 1992. It's been the same situation for us. It's the same thing over and over and over again. Now we got a brand new quarterback. We're all expecting to go to the Super Bowl. When we don't even go to the playoffs, we go to fire somebody. And we expect that fast transition coach to come in here and take us to the Super Bowl. We expect that fast transition quarterback to come in here and take us to the Super Bowl. And when it doesn't happen, we're bound to fire somebody else. We just got done signing Jay Gruden to this contract extension, and already we got people talking about whether his job is in danger. That's not crazy talk. That's the scary part. It should be crazy talk. It's not crazy talk here in D.C. Nothing's crazy here in D.C. We do crazy. We do crazy very, very well. Now, I'm going to bring up a couple of things. I'm going to throw my damn notes here out of frustration. Look at what you guys got me doing. Jesus. All right. I'm gonna say something else here that's not going to garner me any fans. I pay very, very close attention to this defense. And taking a look at some of the footage that I had watched here just today, and I watched the game live when it was taking place. I saw a couple of things, and I waited until my week cleared up to where I could watch more in depth this football game. There was something that has been bothering me about some of your guys' videos. Just about every single video that I had seen from some of my fellow vidmakers, and some of the comments that I have read on social media in regards to this particular individual has left me a little concerned, because I noticed something during the game as it was being played live, and I was like, I hope I'm not seeing what I think I'm seeing. And I went back and watched video, and it was way worse than what I originally had thought. But I had seen something in our defense. And I said something last week under very similar pretense, but in a much different scenario. The only question that I have in regards to the individual that I'm talking about, I don't know where you guys get off thinking that Mason Foster played a great game. I don't understand it. This was probably one of the worst games I've ever seen Mason Foster play. Okay, I think what happens is Mason Foster, who's a great story, by the way, a great player, and I like Mason Foster. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate him. I'm just going to point out bad play. The thing that I think happens is that Mason Foster makes a couple of big plays in the game and he enters into our social conscious or our mental football conscious, and by doing that, we think, oh, there he is again, Mason Foster. He's having a great game. He did this play well, he did this play well, he did this play well. Therefore, 3 plays equals good game. No. You're going to have to do a lot better than that when it comes to Burgundy Flag Eye. You're going to have to do a lot better than that. Because Mason Foster, in my opinion, got his ass kicked in this football game. A big part of the reason why this running game of the Indianapolis Colts was doing so well was because they ran right at him. They ran right at him. If you're taking a look at plays where Mason Foster was able to come in and make a difference on a running play, it was because they ran away from him. They're running at Zach Brown. But they picked up very, very quickly that all you have to do is run at Mason Foster, and you're going to gain at least 5 yards. At the very least, you're going to get 5 yards. I'm seeing all kinds of different people put a hat on a hat when it comes to that middle linebacker, and they're able to push him around. There are several plays in the first half of this football game, guys. Go back and watch a coaching film. Take a look at how it is that Mason Foster does. He gets his ass handed to him several times, and not by double teaming either. You got guards that come out there, and he waits for them to come get him. You're not going to win a strength battle with an offensive lineman who's 6'5" and 303 pounds. Mason Foster is a linebacker. He's not a D tackle. If you get to the line of scrimmage, if you see something happening, if you see a play develop and then you go straight for that open gap to close a running lane and you're waiting for a guard to pull and smack you in the mouth, 9 times out of 10 you're going to get your face handed to you. You've got to come to the line of scrimmage with a lot more intensity. You've got to come to the line of scrimmage being a lot more physical, and you got to use a lot more technique to get around those guys or to get through those guys who are bigger than you and stronger than you. Don't stand in the middle, square up, and go sumo style on these guys. They're going to pancake you. There's at least 2 or 3 plays where I watched Mason Foster get his ass kicked on his back with his feet in the air. And one of them was a tight end. So don't give me this mess about Mason Foster is awesome here and Mason Foster was all over the place. Well, it doesn't mean he had a good game. Doesn't mean he had a good game. There were several times when Mason Foster did a good job. I get that. But it's the little things that make a huge difference, man. When time is not your friend, you cannot afford to be given offenses 5 and 7 yards on the ground running. You can't do it. In fact, I even think in the first half, that running play, watch it again. Take a look at it again in the red zone. When they should have had that running back behind the line of scrimmage, but they didn't. He ended up worming his way into the touchdown. Take a look at Mason Foster. He's getting blocked by like one person. Oh, and there was the other play, that's another one, the batted pass. I've heard some of you guys talk about what an awesome job Mason Foster did on that particular play. He batted the pass, and DJ Swearinger was able to get the interception. Great heads-up play. Way to tip the pass. Well, Burgundy Fly Guy is going to make the comment, way to tip Andrew Luck that you're blitzing. That's stupid. Stupid. He tips his hat that he's blitzing. So what does Andrew Luck do? He shifts his scheme to have his guard pick up the blitzing linebacker. Mason Foster would have had a much better chance of getting to the quarterback on your pass rush. This pass rush that you individuals out there are so pissed off that we don't have, it doesn't help when you give away pre-snap cues. Because individuals like Andrew Luck and half the quarterbacks that are out there that are any good are going to pick up on it. And they're going to take it away from you. It's little things like that. I don't happen to think we have a bad defense. We execute poorly. Poorly. And on that particular play, Mason Foster, he let the cat out of the bag way early. And Andrew Luck said, whoa. Mike is hot, Mike is hot, Mike is hot. Shifts his blocking scheme. Left guard comes off of the center, and as soon as that ball is snapped, that guard picks up Mason Foster. Mason Foster was dead in the water on that play. and he just happened to get his hand up and bat the football. Okay, great heads-up play, great second effort, but you know what? Your initial initiative on that play was to blitz it, because we sent everybody. I don't know if you noticed, we sent the kitchen sink on that play. Everybody was coming. And you watch the film, and it's little things like that that do not help you as a player in the NFL. It's little fundamental things like that. You need every single edge that you can get. One of the other things that I want to mention in regards to pre-snap cues and the fundamentals, there was that 3rd and 12 in the beginning, in the first half of this football game, where Andrew Luck was able to convert. I don't know what the town hall meeting was in the backfield for Washington. What's going on with that? What's going on where DJ Swearinger decides to put on a sermon and start preaching to all the other defensive backs in the backfield? In the meantime, Andrew Luck sees what's going on, and he snaps the ball early and throws a screen pass, a little hitch pass to his wide receiver, and ends up getting blocks from his other receivers on a screen and ends up converting a 3rd and 12. That ball is snapped, and DJ's out there talking. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Covered his day. Our pre-snap defense is horrible. We've got guys looking for cues and looking for where to be because either they don't know or they're looking for direction from their veteran leader. The leader's taking a look at the setup and he's telling them where to go. That's fine. That's dandy. But unfortunately, there's holes in it. We're not very good at it right now. There's a whole lot of talking and a whole lot of pointing and where am I going? You stand here, you go there. By that time, the ball's snapped and you got to react really, really quickly. You got to know exactly what you're going to be doing and where you're going to go. And if this is the style of defense that we're going to be running, where we're not going to know pre-snap until right before the snap is made who's going to be doing what, then there's a lot that needs to be worked on defensively. There's a lot that needs to be worked on there. And that's very disconcerting considering we're going up against Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers this coming weekend. Because if you think Andrew Luck was bad at being able to pick apart our offense when it comes to pre-snap cues, you wait till Aaron Rodgers gets a hold of your ass. That guy's really going to take it deep on us. That guy's going to really plug us. And frankly, I don't have very much confidence in this Green Bay game because I know that Green Bay is going to be noticing little nuances like this. Little nuances about this football team that they're going to be able to exploit. Last time I watched Green Bay play us, they did some things very, very well against us. The last couple times I've seen them play against us. This video is not going to be very long. I'm going to probably wrap it up here. But there's little things about this football game that drive me nuts. And when it comes to the play calling, I don't know so much if it's the play calling that's hurting us more than it's the conservative play of our quarterback. The only thing that I have to complain about our quarterback is our fan base that refuses to understand the Alex Smith that they've inherited. I understand the Alex Smith that we have inherited. And I've told you from the beginning. Louis T has told you from the beginning. There's several of us that told you from the beginning. If you're a wide receiver on this football team, i.e. Josh Doctson, #1 draft selection, looking to prove himself on this football franchise, this is the wrong team for you to be on. This is the wrong team. You're on the wrong team. Because that quarterback is not going to challenge anybody deep because that's not what he does. That's not his forte. So if you are a Redskins fan and if you are bitching and kvetching about our quarterback not going deep, not challenging anybody deep, I understand that there's virtues in it. I'm not denying that there are. There are many, many advantages and there are some disadvantages to going vertical. You just don't have that quarterback on your team that's going to take those types of chances. He's a game manager. Okay? He's not a gunslinger back there. He's not a hired gun that's going to threaten you deep. He's not some dude that's going to light his hair on fire and put on his dancing shoes and start slinging balls out all over the goddamn place. That's not what he does. He's very calm. He's very conservative. He's collective. He's going to check down. Very few quarterbacks are able to check down the way that Alex Smith does. Very few quarterbacks are able to wave off safeties and linebackers the way that Alex Smith does. But it's very boring. It's very boring. It's not very exciting to see. In fact, frankly, I'm surprised we're seeing him run as much as he is. But this is the Alex Smith that you're going to have to get used to, ladies and gentlemen. And if this bothers you, then I would highly, highly suggest you invest in some painkillers and some Tylenol. Because you're going to need it this year. Possibly some alcohol. And I don't want to advocate any alcohol drinking out there, but I'm saying you're in for a long run. Some Percocet, something. Because this is going to be a long, painful season for you. The next couple of years are going to be painful. But this is the long game, guys. I'm not worried about week 2. I'm not worried about, in fact, frankly, to tell you the truth, with this quarterback transition, what's going to take the win here, I don't even think it's going to happen this year. Jay Gruden's got all the confidence in the world that we're ready to win now. I think those of us that know his football team almost as well as he does know that that's a bunch of BS. We're not ready to win now. We haven't been ready to win in a very, 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 very long time. We still have a lot of holes. We've got a lot of holes. And for those of you that want to know what's going on with Preston Smith and Ryan Kerrigan and why we can't get a decent pass rush in there, is because those guys are spending half the time in a nickel defense in plugging up passing routes. They're not even rushing the quarterback. There's times we've got 3 and 4 pass rushers, and Alex and Preston Smith and Ryan Kerrigan oftentimes aren't even in those blitz packages. And if I want to make a gameful prediction, if I'm general manager, I got to tell you, if I had the time that I had this last offseason to do research, I would research pass rushers. I would research the top 10 pass rushers in each college division, and I'd be watching game film and taking notes on them right now, because I think that's the next step for us. I think we need a pass rusher. I got no problem taking a look at Ryan Kerrigan's contract and be looking at ways to offload him. If it's me, I think it's time. I think it's time. I think it's time to get rid of him, and I think loyalty only goes so far when it comes to business. But I want people to get to the quarterback. Am I looking for Daron Payne to get to the quarterback? I mean, I'm not looking for Daron Payne to get to the quarterback any more than I'm looking for any other defensive tackle to get to the quarterback. I'm really not. I don't even think, in fact, if it was me, I'm not even done looking for defensive tackles, to tell you the truth, or nose tackles. I have all the faith in the world that Daron Payne and Tim Settle are going to be great additions for us. I'm looking to the future for those guys. The next couple of years are guys that I'm going to be looking at those two individuals to be a staple at that defensive line position. It's going to take a little bit for that to happen, and that's okay. I'm a patient man. But if you're too old to play, you're too old to play. And pass rush needs to be a premium. And if you can't go to the draft, then you got to start looking at something. Picking up guys on the wire, picking up projects, individuals that I don't know, individuals that have gotten in trouble. I don't. You got to do something. We got to get to the quarterback, and that edge rush, we just don't have it. Preston Smith is not blowing my skirt up any. I would like to keep Preston Smith because I think he's great on passing downs. I think he's great in nickel packages to be able to go out and actually pass. To go out and defend against shallow passing routes for us and even rush the passer. I would like to see him come downhill with a little bit more enthusiasm, though. This half-fast, half-speed pass rush that he's got is not doing it for me. Sorry, Preston. I know you can run faster than that, young man. You need to start doing it. Okay, and Ryan Kerrigan, I'd say it's been a wonderful career. It's been a wonderful career, and it's time to move on. But we need somebody who's younger, somebody who's more energetic, somebody who's going to be able to really, really put the pressure. I'm tired of the same rip technique from this guy. Over and over and over again. You plant your shoulder into the into the offensive tackle, and you give him a rip technique. Over and over with this guy. It's like, man, do we have anything else in our repertoire? I mean, he does. Obviously he does. But more often than not, you're just going to get that shoulder and rip. Shoulder block, rip technique. Shoulder block, rip technique. Shoulder block, rip technique. Okay, you set me up for something else here because this is getting kind of boring. It's not successful. Let me guess, you're going to do something on third down. That's great. I'd rather have somebody who's going to try to put pressure on that quarterback every single down, who's going to give me everything in his repertoire to try to get around or underneath an offensive tackle to get to that quarterback, to the point where they got to start shifting schemes in my direction. When is the last time that you think an offense has had to shift blocking scheme to block Ryan Kerrigan? It's probably been a couple of years. He's got a couple games, 1 or 2, where he's done a phenomenal job when he's not going up against the Hioloti Hulawana Vaitai, whatever the hell his name is, when he's not going up against a third-string right tackle. I mean, that's about it. Other than that, I think pass rush is our next option on defense. I really, really do, because we're not getting it right now. We need to start putting pressure on that quarterback. We need to start getting there. And Andrew Luck in this game, it doesn't surprise me he was getting that ball out of his hands inside of 3.5 seconds, because he's got an injury to concern himself with. He doesn't want to injure himself in his shoulder on the road against an NFC East Division team. He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to do it at all, but if he's going to do it, he doesn't want to do it against us. He's going to get that ball out quick. And that was exactly what he did. There's maybe 1 or 2 plays in this whole game where he actually stood back there for 5 seconds and tested the deep ball. Other than that, man, he just picked apart our defense like we were nothing. So that's going to do it for me, guys. That's all. There's so much more to talk about in this game. But frankly, I'm just like some of you. I want to get week 2 out of my... I just want to take a shower from week 2 and just get the stench off of me. The stench of loss. This game, we had a really, really good chance at winning, but didn't. So that's going to do it. We'll catch you guys next week. Maybe on Wednesday or Thursday I'll be able to broadcast. In fact, it's probably going to be more like Thursday next week. I got a pretty big week coming up next week, so keep your fingers crossed. I'm right there with you guys. Hopefully I didn't piss off too many of you with your love affair with Mason Foster and Alex Smith. So for those fans, the Twin Feather and Burgundy Fly Guy, will catch you all next time.